Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr Boyce TV. Here we are.
What are you doing today? Did you get dentures? No, I'm getting implants. But, similar. Implants are similar to dentures. But better. I want teeth. I don't want dentures. That's kind of weird. Nice teeth. See, I'm going to start doing my podcast like this. I'm going to be like, hello, good morning, everybody. How are you today? What do you think? Y'all like that? Anyway, you know what I was thinking about? Okay, so in case you don't know, in case you're curious, there's a program we have in the Black Business School that I deliberately created for young people. And it's called Black Keys to Greatness. And that's where I give advice on how to succeed in life. It's kind of like Uncle Boyce's life class. And I created it because a lot of you come to me for advice on everything from, relationships to how to set goals to how to do well, in everything, family, business, everything else. And so I just put together this whole curriculum and it's really good. And it really laid out my way of thinking, my philosophy that actually helped me do a lot of stuff that a lot of people couldn't do. And so there was a price for the program. The lifetime membership was like almost $1,000. But I decided that I want to waive the fee. I decided I want to make it totally free, no strings attached. So the URL is right there. So if you're a young person who is just looking for guidance, or even if you're not young, you don't have to be young, but I designed it with young people in mind because I think a lot of our young people lost a lot when we lost our fathers. When we lost fathers in the household, you lost that ability to really get that advice you need in order to be successful, and it makes me feel bad. So I figure rather than just giving advice to my own kids, I will give it to you. So if you want to go. The URL's right there. It's blackkeystogreatness.com. That's blackkeystogreatness.com. Your mouth is still swollen, is it? It probably is. It takes weeks to get through this process. And I didn't know if I was going to be able to really talk a lot. But I want to do it. Let me just tell you all about this actually real quick. And I'm going to get to the topic, I promise. But first thing I'll say is I didn't want to do it. Because I didn't want to be derailed from what I normally do every day. It's time consuming. It was expensive, but fortunately I'm not broke, right? I don't talk about how much money I have because I don't believe in that. I think people that flaunt and brag about money, unfortunately that it's not healthy. It makes you a target, number one. It creates a lot of haters, number two. And then number 3, it shows a deficiency in other areas, in my opinion. So, but I'm not broke. I'm not poor. And so the money wasn't as much the issue. It's more so the time. I'm very poor when it comes to time because my time is very limited. And also, I don't like going to the dentist, which was why I got in that predicament in the first place. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. If you plan ahead, then you'll be ahead. If you don't plan ahead, you'll fall behind. So I didn't plan ahead. When it came to that area of my life, I didn't do everything I was supposed to do when I was younger, so I had to play catch up a little bit. And the surgery was terrible. It was supposed to take 7 hours. It took 14 hours. I was sitting there for 14 hours in that chair, and it was horrible. And other things happened. I'll talk about that later. And also, I had to be on a liquid diet. Now, here's the thing. Here's why the liquid diet part is a problem. As a black person, basically, sugar probably kills us more than crack cocaine. I bet if you were to add up the number of black people who've died from sugar and obesity and diabetes and heart disease that comes from excessive sugar consumption, and compare that to the number of black people who died during the war on drugs from crack cocaine, it would be like this. It would be like this, right? I mean, I know everybody got y'all hyped up on coronavirus right now. Like, that's the number one alert issue. But if you go look at the statistics, just go look at the data on how many hundreds of thousands of black people who are probably in your own family. Like, a lot of y'all may not have an immediate relative who died from corona. Like, you know, maybe you know somebody who knows somebody, right? But I'm talking about like your sister, and if it did happen, my heart goes out to you. But I bet you bet most of you have somebody in your family who, you know, just who got to get their foot cut off from diabetes, or who's diabetic in general, or who died obese or whatever. We're going to a funeral in a couple of days of a lady who, you know, got pretty obese, right? And so I'm going to just say at the end of the day, like, I have a sugar addiction like most black people do. And it made me fat, and really fat. Like if you go look at pictures of me in 2015, 2016, I was much fatter than I am now. Like, I was a big roly-poly. I was looking like Roland Martin up in that mug. And I just got tired of it. So I decided, I would say no disrespect to Roland, but I guess I just, I don't care. Y'all know he fat. Stop lying. So I started running, and I ran a marathon, and it was awesome, and I lost a lot of weight. But but the thing with weight was it was always a battle. So it's really crazy. I thought being on a liquid diet was going to be horrible. I was like, man, I can't eat. I can't do I can't eat the normal stuff I want to eat. I can't chew shit. Can't even chew mac and cheese. Can't even chew during the healing process. Can't chew anything. And so it's been smoothies and well, this is a mocha cappuccino, but yeah, I got my smoothie over here and just doing anything I could do to get rid of that hunger feeling in my stomach. But guess what? Two things. One, going through it has not been nearly as bad as I thought it would be. If you told me what I was gonna go through, a 14-hour surgery, and then all the pain I went through, and a liquid diet, and all this other stuff, I would be like, I do not want to do that. That's gonna be terrible. But I've gone through it, and I'm like, wow, I'm going through it, and it really ain't that bad. It really hasn't been. I've enjoyed like just laying in bed all day watching Netflix, and guess what? I lost 9 pounds in a week. I've never lost 9 pounds in a week. I'm like, shit, I'm going to stay on this diet for a while because I want to lose 25 pounds. So, I'm just going to tell you, I think that what I've learned from this, we all learn, these are things I knew, but it's really different when you go through it and you really see it in real life. Most of the time, the things that you're scared of the most are not as scary as you think. Your worst nightmare is usually not as bad as you think it's going to be, right? So if you want to know, I know everybody, every time I go live, which is probably a bad idea for me to go live like this, I don't give a shit. They always ask like what's going on or whatever. It's going to take a while. It's going to take weeks and weeks, maybe 4 weeks before I'm finally done. When I'm done, I have, nice, shiny, pretty teeth. But even these, aren't that, like I can do my podcast like this. If y'all like a nice smile, I can smile a lot. But it's kind of hard because it doesn't feel completely natural. But these are not teeth I would like pull out or anything. Like these are actually in my mouth. So there we go. All right. So that's me just giving you real life information. Oh, by the way, don't forget, I'm doing a powernomics masterclass with Dr. Claude Anderson that starts on October 15th. If you haven't yet enrolled, you can feel free to go to powernomicsmasterclass.com. And actually, as of today, you can get 48% off. So feel free to go take a look. Powernomicsmasterclass.com. Are these temporary? Some of it is, yeah. It's not like it takes a while, like to like really fit your teeth perfectly. It's a process, man. It's a process. It's not cheap. It does take time. There is some pain, but I had them put me under for a big part of the procedure. So I didn't say it was that bad. Let's see. The class that you said was free not too long ago was not free. I don't know what you mean, but that class right there, blackkeystogreatness.com, is totally free. If you have any issues whatsoever, like if you think that I told you one thing and it turned out to be something different, there's probably a misunderstanding. So I can just tell you right now, we have a really great support team, a really excellent customer support team that can answer all of your questions. All you have to do is email support@theblackbusinessschool.com, support@theblackbusinessschool.com, and they will take perfect care of you. So do not think, don't think that I just would throw a rope-a-dope at you. If I throw you some BS, it wasn't deliberate. It's something that can be fixed. Okay. So anyway, so will your natural teeth show anymore? Well, that's a debatable type question. This is not what I'm going to look like forever. So if that's what you're asking, then the answer is no. Because this is right now I'm swollen. Like my face is swollen. I still, this is not natural. This is not the real voice. All right. So anyway, let me keep going. Okay, let's see. I think it was a glitch with the site. Well, send the email. If you go to the blackbusinessschool.com, there are people right there on the website that can talk to you. They can work you through any issues you have. So here's one little thing I want to mention. And this was actually the reason I decided to go live. Besides the fact that I'm trying to practice enunciating properly, because tomorrow I got a couple of really fun interviews coming up on Dr. Boyce TV. Dr. Claude Anderson, I believe, is going to be in on Thursday. And also Ice Cube, the rapper Ice Cube, is going to come on tomorrow. And we're going to talk about his contract with Black America. So if you want to hang out with us during that time, feel free to go to drboycetv.com. Wow, you look great in 10 years, you and her boys. Oh, you thought I was using a filter? Oh my God, that's so crazy. Anyway, all right. So here's one of the things that crossed my brain, and I guess I was wanting to share this is I had a baby. I don't know if you know this. I had a baby when I was 18 years old, and now she's much older, and we and it was not the right time to have a child. And it was really hard and really expensive. And I was on Twitter today, and somebody asked me about college or something. Because I did really well in college. I didn't do good in high school, but I did very well in college. And they were like, damn, Doc, you did all that in school. Like, did you have a job? And I said, yeah, I needed a job. I needed 2 jobs because I had child support. Child support was really expensive. So what I told them was, I said, one of the big things I learned from that experience is that, kids cost money. Like, kids are really expensive. And you really, if you really are serious about trying to, like, become somebody and build wealth and be successful and all that, you got to really think carefully about family planning, whatever that means to you. And I'm talking about thinking carefully about who you sleep with. I'm thinking carefully about when you decide to have kids. And most people that have kids, honestly, when they have their first child, I don't believe most people actually plan the first child. I think most people just be fucking, and then next thing you know, there's a baby coming out 9 months later. And they don't, when you lay down, how many of y'all lay down and have sex and really are thinking like, okay, let's lay down and have this baby. Let's make a baby, right? No, you're just thinking about trying to, you know what it is. So I think when I think about that experience, because it was so expensive and it was so inconvenient, and I'm sure it was inconvenient for her mother too, right? She wasn't trying to go to college and all that, but I'm sure she had things to do that she wanted to do. And I know I did. I remember being like basically yanked out of class because I had to go to child support court, and I was like, well, I got class that day. They were like, we don't care, and then they were like, and I was like, well, this child support amount, I can't afford to pay this. Because I'm in school. And they were like, we don't care. They were like, drop out of school. That's what parents have to do. And I didn't drop out of school, but it really taught me a lot about the realities of family and how that plays out in your ability to do the things that you want to do, financially and otherwise. And I remember in that experience, it was so bad. It was so hard that I remember thinking, God, I am never going to have a baby without being married to the woman I had the baby with. I will not have a baby, without it being in the right circumstances. And so I encourage you to just sort of think about that. Kids, how you have kids, who you have kids with is a huge factor in whether or not you ever have wealth. The poorest people in America, did you know this? The poorest people in this country, net worth-wise, are single black mothers. Did you know that? They're the brokest people in America. Their median net worth of a single black mother is $5. the fathers are also broke. I mean, because the mothers are broke because the fathers are broke, right? Because if the fathers weren't broke, then the mothers wouldn't be broke. Or, if the fathers believed in really taking care of their children or whatever. So the fathers, I know a lot of guys who can't pay their child support. They hide their income. They marginalize themselves, right? They get out of the system. They make their money in the street, so it doesn't get caught, by IRS and child support and all that. They have to hide the income, put stuff in their mama's name and stuff like that, and just kind of do dicey stuff just to get by. And you're not going to become wealthy like that. Like, that's just not going to lead you to having like this nice portfolio of stocks and real estate and businesses and all that. If you can't even, you can't even put basic shit in your name, right? So I personally think if you're talking to like your kids and you're doing it yourself, one really great way to really build wealth for yourself is really picking people to be in your life who can be great partners for you in everything you want to do. So one thing I can say, and it's always awkward to use Alicia and I as an example, but I think that's okay, because we're a little older, so we understand a couple things, is it's really awesome to be able to have somebody where you can say, okay, I don't have time to do that. Can you do that for me? Or like even when I went to the dentist and they put me under, she looked out for me when I was under, right? And then there are times where I look out for her, right? She doesn't have to worry about anything financially. She does. She's able to handle herself, pretty well. She's a professional. But really, Boyce is always there. Like, so if we go out to go eat dinner, we're not arguing over whose credit card we're going to pull out. The only time we might argue is if I'm like, no, I'm going to pay this time. And she's like, no, let me pay. Right? That's the only time. And those are good arguments to have when you have just an abundance of generosity. And the thing about generosity that's really interesting, when people talk about people being generous or people being shady, well, your level of generosity or so-called shadiness comes down to your amount of economic desperation. If you're economically desperate, you might have to do some stuff that appears to be shady so you can get by. Like, for example, hiding from the landlord. When I was a kid, we didn't have the rent money. Mom would be like, okay, the landlord knocks, do not answer, right? But if we had the money, then we would answer the door. We would do the right thing. But we didn't have no money. So the ability to even do the right thing a lot of times comes down to where you are financially. Like, people who have money can do the right thing. They can be good people. Like, oh, I'm really generous. I want to help everybody out. Well, the reason you feel that way is because you're doing good. You've got what you need, right? So maybe if she and I didn't have what we needed, or if one of us was really struggling and the other one wasn't, then whenever the bill came, one of us might do some shady shit, like go to the bathroom when the bill gets there. I don't know if anybody has any friends like that, where they always disappear when it's time to pay. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're bad or good people. It just might mean that they just don't have any money. And I know people, I swear to God, I know people who have degrees from Harvard who have to do that. They have degrees from Harvard who have to do that. There's a lady on who did a TED Talk on it's on YouTube. And she said she graduated from Harvard and got a degree, but she can't start a business or anything because they don't teach you that stuff in college. And she said that she had to maintain the look of a Harvard graduate, but she said I would have like $1.80 in my bank account and just be sitting there desperate. And we're sitting at this restaurant where the average plate is $150, $200, and I'm sitting there thinking, what am I going to do in order to get through this situation? Because I don't want to blow my cover. So desperation changes your behavior. In fact, on my Instagram today, my Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. Feel free to follow on Instagram. I put this song up, and it's got a real catchy tune because they make a lot of hip hop songs sound like songs you heard in nursery school, right? If you liked it in kindergarten, then you probably like it as a grown up. But the lyrics were real ratchety or whatever, and it was like, just make his pockets hurt. If a nigga wanna hit it, make a nigga spend it, make his pockets hurt, right? So you see, it's like, just whistle while you work, do 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 do, and then right. So that's all. So they took the whistle while you work, and they changed it to make his pockets hurt. If a nigga wanna hit it, make a nigga spend it, make his pockets hurt. And I shared that video not because I just enjoy being ratchet, but because this is what your kids are listening to. I saw this on TikTok. My 10-year-old has been schooling me on TikTok. That's our business. That's where she works. She's on my team, and she literally, like a professional, showed me how to use TikTok. I have no clue how to edit on. I swear to God, I would hire her if she were 45. A 45-year-old executive in Hollywood. Like, she knows how to just, she's like, oh, you do this filter, and you do this, and this. I said, you know that you know that this is video editing, right? You do know that there's software programs that take longer to do what you just did. You know, that you did it in 60 seconds. I know people who take a day to get this done. So anyway, so she's showing me, she's, taking me through TikTok. So I'm starting to just explore TikTok, which is where a lot of kids are. And so I see the song like, just make his pockets hurt. If a nigga want to hit it, make a nigga spend it. Make his pockets hurt. And this is a popular, trendy song. White people use it in their videos. Little girls are using it. Whatever. And so I listened to that song, and of course, with me being a finance guy, I said, this is interesting because what this really is this is the promotion of a financial plan. This is a promotion of a financial plan for desperate people. Right? This is what little girls teach, or I guess some girls are teaching other women to do, and maybe men too. No judgment here. How to get money when you don't know how to make money, right? So I said, because I said, so what you're really marketing is prostitution. Like, you're basically saying, if he wants to have sex with you, then make him pay. And if he pays, then you should have sex with him. I think that it kind of goes in both directions. I've heard Cardi B say that. I think Cardi B said the way to get to my vagina is if you have the most money. So I find that to be a little bit obviously disturbing because I'm a dad, right? I got daughters. I'm like, damn, I got to show them how to start a business and make some money so they ain't got to be running out here talking about I'm going to make his pockets hurt and I'm going to give him some ass because of that, right? I'm going to risk catching an STD. I'm going to risk getting pregnant by some raggedy ass piece of shit. I got to risk all the emotional damage that comes with sleeping with men who don't give a damn about you. And I'm going to be a hoe in front of my kids, right? So I'm like, maybe if I just show you how to buy stock, you won't have to do any of that, right? Like, maybe all that can be diverted by simply showing you how to form an investment account so that you don't feel like you have to go to the very bottom of the barrel on your lowest vibration in order to just pay the bills, right? But then maybe some people will just want to be hoes. Maybe some people enjoy that. I'm not judging, right? Maybe some people really just, they're like, look, I'm gonna be a hoe anyway, so I might as well get paid for it. Okay, that's totally fine. So, but I will just say overall that a lot of times when you see people do desperate stuff for money, whether it's like some dude who robbed a liquor store or some girl who's selling her body to an unhealthy man, just to not even for like no serious money. It might be like $400 to pay the rent. Those are typically, unfortunately, individuals who've never been trained on healthier ways to make money. Also, what is interesting is they're setting themselves up for natural exploitation because there are rich people. There are rich guys out here. I know guys that make $100,000 a month, right? So if you're a man that makes $100,000 a month or $200,000, $300,000 a month, what do you care if you send some lady $400 to cover her utility bill? If that's going to get you, and that's going to get you the keys to her body, that's going to give you the most valuable asset in the universe, access to her womb. You let this man around your kids. You let this man, you don't tell him where his body has been. You're letting this man in your body for $400 a month. And for him, $400 ain't nothing. It's like, okay, here, let me just cash app you the money. I'll be over there on Tuesday at 8, and you know what you need to do, right? I think that is a really desperate situation for people to be in. I sure as hell don't want my daughters in that situation. I would feel, if my daughters had to do that to get money, I would feel like as a parent, I didn't do what I had to do. Or, maybe I didn't let them know I loved them enough. Maybe I didn't provide enough resources. Maybe I didn't train them on economic survival skills. But that's really what happens, when you're not prepared. And also, that's also what happens when you haven't been taught to kind of merge and understand the connection between your family and physical and relationship choices and where you are financially. Like, they are deeply, deeply connected. You choose the wrong relationships, your money will disappear. You choose the right relationships, your money will grow. Also, you shouldn't allow the cart to drag the horse, in the sense of saying, because I'm so economically desperate, I'm going to make a person's financial situation become the number one driver of why I, of why I want to be with them, right? So that's it. That's all I wanted to share. It made me, so I think that child support thing, avoiding child support was really big for me. I remember thinking, okay, I can't grow my money if I keep having kids in situations where the state's going to keep going in my pockets. And so that was a strategic decision. And I encourage all of you, like, as you're building family, do it the right way. Try your best. Like, there's also books and books you can read, YouTube videos you can watch, classes you can take, articles you can read that will explain to you, like, how to have a healthy relationship, right? And these are important investments, because if you make that investment, what it does is it makes it easier for you to take care of one area so you can focus on everything else. If you have level 1 satisfied, then you can focus on level 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So, but if you don't have level 1 satisfied, then your whole building's going to crumble, no matter how many stories you have on this institution, okay? So, somebody says my Wi-Fi keeps breaking up. I have no idea why. I'll look into that. It's great talking to you guys. So, if you want to go and take the free class that I talked about, with the pretty much Boyce's life class, it's totally free. You can go to blackkeystogreatness.com. It's free for this month only, though. That's blackkeystogreatness.com. So take care, guys. I'm out of here, and I'm sorry it keeps freezing. I apologize. I'll see you soon. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button. And feel free to follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is TheRealBoyceWatkins. See you guys soon. Take care. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, 10, 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.